Greetings, time to play some more Geometry Dash and level 4 this time, and whilst I do that I'm going to be continuing to talk about prime numbers, and this time what is the first prime number? Now most people will say that 2 is the first prime number, but some will try and argue that 1 should be the first prime number, and really it comes down to whether 1 is allowed to be a prime number or not. And I say the word allowed because prime numbers are the definitions of prime numbers are things that we have constructed. We have grouped these numbers together by a particular set of properties. And actually the way we define a prime number proactively excludes and stops 1 from being part of the club. So if you look at, I don't like that. That felt weird. Sorry, where was I? The way we define a prime actually excludes 1. Now you might disagree with that. You might say, well, a prime number is defined as a number that can only be divided by itself and 1, and 1 would fit that bill. It can be divided by 1, and it can be divided by itself, which is also 1. But actually that's not the whole story. To define a prime properly, it has to be a number that can only be divided by itself or 1, and to be greater than 1. Or to have exactly 2 factors, in which case 1 doesn't have exactly 2 factors, it has only 1 factor, 1. Whereas all the primes have 2 factors, so like 7 has 2 factors, 1 and 7, and all composite numbers, which all the other numbers, have more than 2 factors, so like 9 has factors 1, 3 and 9. Oh, that was a good run, 61%. So we actually stop 1 being a prime number. We don't want it to be a prime number because it would get in the way. Every number can be broken down, every whole number can be broken down into a product of prime numbers, and every number has a unique product of prime numbers. And if we allowed 1 in, then there would be an infinite number of different factorizations for each number, because you could just have 1 1 or 100 ones or 1,000,000 ones, and it wouldn't change the number because you're just timesing, but it would stop it being unique. And there's a whole other host of reasons why 1 would just get in the way and it wouldn't be a useful prime. It would actually be a very unhelpful number to be a prime number. So we don't want it to be a prime, so we stop it being a prime, and 2 is the first prime number. So 1 isn't a prime number. It's not a composite number. It is just itself. It is 1. It is unity. It's a group all on its own, which makes it possibly a little bit lonely. But then 0 is a number on its own. That's not prime. That's not a composite number, and it's not unity. So 0 as well. Now you might say, well, what about negative prime numbers? But again, we proactively define we define prime numbers to exclude negative numbers. We only allow positive prime numbers. Equally, you can't have decimal prime numbers. They have to be whole numbers, they have to be greater than 1, and they have to have exactly 2 factors. And by all those definitions, 2 is definitely the first prime number, and you just can't have 1. Whoa! Wow! That's amazing. That must be like the fastest I've ever done it. 8 attempts. I'm amazed. Well, all the other things I've got to say about primes, they'll have to wait for the next video and the next level. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.